Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to episode 49 of the Spare Change Challenge, streaming it live here on Twitch and also showing it on YouTube as well. So whichever platform you happen to be watching it on, thank you for joining us. Just briefly, we've been playing here for about 2 or 3 minutes. We had our first hand. We had ace queen in the big blind and we ran into ace king. So we've already lost one stack on this table. It's an unfortunate start, but that's going to happen. There's nothing we can do about that. It was a plus EV spot and we just ran into a monster. You'll notice I have a full ring table up on the top right here. That is because we had a gentleman email and ask if I would briefly cover some adjustments that need to be made. Thank you, Stefan, for the email. I appreciate that. I'll be glad to do it. I'll definitely, once I get in the action here, we'll cover some of the adjustments that you may need to make in general when playing on full ring. Now, honestly, the short answer is you don't really need to adjust specifically. Just play your table. However, maybe full ring regs just play slightly different than 6-max regs, so you do have to make maybe some vacuum adjustments. So that's what I'm going to really cover. Is first of all, I'm going to cover what your opening ranges should be and how you react to early position opens in full ring. We'll cover that, and then let's see. This guy's kind of, well, I think it's still okay. And then we'll cover just some general adjustments to make otherwise. And I did cover this in my book, not in too great a detail, but adequately, I think, for a beginner's book, intermediate book. So you might want to check that out as well if you want to get a few more details. But I'll cover some of that here for sure, and hopefully help you out, Stefan. I appreciate the question. So we get a three-way pot here on a king high board and get donk bet into. He's doing it into 3 players. Normally I would just raise this. I think that's still the best play. Just going to raise it up. We have a lot of good turn cards for our hand, and he can just fold his 7x8 pocket 8s right now. This guy bets $1. Now this is a little different spot. I think this guy is more of a passive, maybe even stationy type player, so I almost can't really fold, can I? Maybe we just make it 225, and if we improve, commit. If we don't improve, just give up. I think he might fold to that often enough. I'm just going to fold down here. Of course, we do make top pair now. Of course, if he had if he had a hand, he could have just made a straight. But whatever, we have top pair now. We're just going to stick it in. If he's got us, he's got us. Yeah. So he just turns his open ender, and we hold. So we were ahead the whole way. So that's good. Get our first double up of the day. We'll just fold down here. This guy's 3-betting again. So he's 3-bet now 2 out of 7, and this guy's pretty aggressive on the button. This could be light. Unfortunately, he's just priced in, and we're just not going to have a fold equity. This, if we were deeper here, we could definitely sometimes shove a hand like 10-8 suited. Just going to check here. Into 2 players. This guy's probably not in any mood to fold now. Increases the value of making a strong hand, but I think once you whiff, you can just give up. Just going to complete down there. We haven't played a hand on full ring, but I guess we can just go ahead and cover some of that and just knock that out early here for you guys. Before I forget, which I'm apt to do. So yeah, so all of my sorry about that. Had a little bit of an interruption. My daughters are kind of stir crazy right now. This is Friday, of course. Oh yeah, Free Money Friday. Forgot to mention that. So yeah, back to full ring. All of my opening ranges, as you guys probably already know, are based on completely on table dynamics. But if I were to give you a vacuum range for playing early position, well, first of all, my typical under the gun range in 6-max would be something like, in a vacuum, maybe ace 9 suited, ace 10 offsuit plus, pocket fives plus. King, queen, king, jack, queen, jack suited, jack 10 suited, 9, 10 suited, 8, 7 suited. Something like that. Something around a 13, 14% range, probably if you put it in Poker Stove. Depending on the time of day, sometimes I might tighten that up. Depending on... anyways, I probably just... That's it, vacuum. Okay. So if you just take that range and you just tighten that up a little bit, you can basically form your under the gun plus 1 and 2 range for full ring. Let me find a table here real quick and we'll continue. This is the bad thing about full ring, is it takes you so long to get involved in a hand. Crap, is that just the table I left? What are the odds, right? We'll definitely open that with that guy. Find a table. This one I don't think we were on. 40% VPIP, that's good. We get jammed on, so we're just going to fold to king 10. Alright, now with that sorted out, so for early position and full ring, on these games right here, I think probably erring a little bit on the tight side. I mean, I think something like ace queen plus 8s plus is actually would be fine. I mean, I think it's better to err on the tight. You're basically getting a free pass to 3 seats, right? So, and it's hard to turn a profit under the gun with hands less than ace queen, less than 8s. But really, I mean, honestly, you probably could go with 7s, ace jack, and be fine. But if you just wanted just to start out and feel comfortable, ace queen 8s would be what I would go with in those first 2 or 3 seats. So yeah, what's this guy gonna have a lot? Just a 5. 4-6 sometimes. We want to bet a price to give him. Think we're giving him a good price for 4-6. If he has a king here, I mean, it's just that's like the case king. It's just a cooler here, right? If he has 3s or 5s or something like that. I mean, I think we still have to bet and protect against 4-6. It's going to be pretty clear if a deuce comes or a 7 comes. We're not going to value bet that river. Wait, what did I say? If I just think I misspoke. If it's a card that completes a straight but gives us a boat, obviously we'd bet that card. I wasn't paying attention to what the cards were. But yeah, just in general. Otherwise, in full ring, that's. I mean, I really don't know what else to say about opening ranges. I mean, it's hard to turn a profit with ace 10 in 6 max from under the gun. So you can imagine it'd be hard to turn a profit with ace jack. So ace queen would just be a safe bet probably, and just go from there. Even if you want to do like ace jack suited or something, it'd be fine. Stay away from, I guess king queen would be fine. Yeah, king queen's fine, especially king queen suited. Gonna be tough to turn a profit with it. I'm just gonna be honest. I think from under the gun in full ring, and it seems really nitty, but honestly, I'm just talking from millions of hands of my database of experience. You know, probably stay away from suited connectors. I guess you could raise the nut suited connectors, but like I said, take this with a grain of salt. If you got fish in the blinds, you need to widen your range when you're under the gun, and even in full ring. So this is vacuum. This is with regs in the blinds. So always keep that in mind. I'm not telling you just to be this tight. I'm telling you to be this tight with provisos, right? Okay, so I think we've covered that enough. Hope that answers your questions, Stefan. As far as opening ranges goes, as far as adjusting to 3-bet or for your 3-betting, is just add a tick on. I mean, if you with 3-bet shove ace jack in a particular spot, or maybe that's a bad example. Ace jack suited, just bump it up to ace queen offsuit. If you would normally do ace queen, I'm not even sure that a big blind 3-bet versus an under the gun with ace queen offsuit is plus EV. That might be just just a flat or a fold. It gets a little tricky in full ring. I mean, people open tight ranges. You need to have a read that that guy's opening wider than 9% or something, right? If he's just opening 8 or 10%, which a lot of full ring players do under the gun, you can't really just shove ace queen, I don't think. So this is a weird spot. This guy just limp min raised me. Probably just fold here. What's he doing that with? I mean, I don't know about this. Is it just a play machine play, or, I mean, are we just getting such a good price now we have to call? I guess we have to call. I mean, unfortunately, now we got a stack. If he's got aces or kings, queens, we're just beat. We have an SPR of 2. What hands would he do this with that would commit, that we can shove against? Jacks. I mean, if he had a complete airball and bluff right now, maybe we should just check back. We're just going to let him bluff if he's bluffing, you know? Yeah. Obviously, we pick up spades now, too. So we have a queen or spades if he has aces or kings. But we're not going to fold to a shove. He could still have a bluff. He could still get it in with jacks, potentially. If he was going to play it this way, ace-jack. I'm just going to put the rest in. I mean, we get like the best run out for our hands, so whatever, dude. Good job if you've got aces or kings. So yeah, he was just bluffing. So that works out. So yeah, I mean, it looked like a play machine play, because usually when fish limp and they're trapping, they're just going to put the money in, right? Against the short stack especially. I mean, I would be hugely surprised if he had aces or kings there. It's hard for him to have kings since I have king queen, so when you can narrow somebody down to 2 cards in the deck out of 4 cards in the deck, you probably shouldn't be folding in that spot. So yeah, I think we played it perfect. I mean, we called the flop. I mean, he just folds ace-6 if we raise the flop, so there's no reason to raise that spot. But getting back to full ring, it's just all a matter of ticks, right? If you would normally just, for every seat, maybe add a half step to your range or something. Like if you're going to do ace-10 in one spot, add and just move over 1 seat, make it ace-10 suited. 2 seats, ace-jack offsuit. 3 seats, ace-jack suited. If I did that in the right order. Just basically add a half step for every, and suited, unsuited, suited, unsuited is the steps I'm talking about. We're actually going to leave this table up. That's pretty cool. We're just going to ship. No point in slow playing this. It's not like people are going to continue bluffing if they don't have an ace. You know? So just get the monies in while they have a flush draw or a worse ace, and just get the monies in. Don't give them a chance to fold the turn if they don't hit their flush, right? So we get a very good turn card, and they're drawing dead. So good hand for us. Let's find another table here. How about this one? So yeah, lots of action going on. I can't really complete my thoughts on the full ring, but trust me, I will get to it. We have plenty of time. Okay. Sorry I say a lot when I'm thinking. It's a bad habit of mine. I just can't get out of it. I talked about that in previous videos. When I'm contemplating something that's kind of far back in my head, I just say so I apologize. Okay, now I'm actually thinking about it and I can't think because I'm trying to consciously not say so let me just think here. Okay, alright, so I'll just give you a few general guidelines, just in no particular order. It's something we may have covered, something that I wrote down at one point. Is the benefits of full ring. I mean, this doesn't really have anything to do with strategy, but in case you are, maybe you're playing 6 max and it's just not agreeing with you, Full ring is actually a pretty good option for some players. It's easier to multi-table. I mean, if you weren't on this site and you were able to, you could play 8 full ring tables at the same speed you can basically play 4 6 max tables or something, probably. I know this really isn't a thing too much, but if you were a Rickback Pro, there's a lot of benefits to just playing a lot more full ring tables. The regs just typically aren't as aggressive, so you're not going to have as much difficult spots and decisions. It's just basically straightforward. I guess if you're a short stack, it's not as much of a difference, but for full stack players, 100 big blind players, there's quite a big difference between full ring and 6 max. So hand reading is generally a little bit easier at full ring. People just are in general tighter, more nitty, so it's generally easier to tighten range or to narrow ranges. You're not going to get bluffed as much. I mean, just in a nutshell, just people aren't going to stack off as light, so it just makes for a simpler environment. I mean, I'm being very general here, right? It all depends on the table you're on right now, but I'm just speaking in general over infinite amount of hands, infinite amount of tables, in general, with no table selection involved. This is what you're going to see. So keep that in mind. Also, you don't have to quite be such a lagtard, honestly, at full ring, because the blinds do come around a little bit less often. However, keep in mind you do still have to win your seat versus everyone else, so you have to maintain a better win rate. So on the flip side of that coin, while there isn't as much pressure to steal as wide, you still need to be stealing wide, because in general people fold more often to steals in full ring, so it's kind of a counterbalance. You don't have to, but actually it's pretty damn lucrative to steal at full ring, so I hope that makes sense. You don't have the pressure to be, so if you are just a in general tighter player and you don't like to play as wide of a range and have to steal so wide, full ring's actually good for you. But on the flip side, you need to learn how to steal wider in full ring, because people generally are tighter, so they're going to fold the steals generally more often, so keep that in mind as well. Let me find another seat here. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse in some of these. A lot of you guys are just very familiar with this stuff. I apologize. This is a specific question asked by a specific person. I get this question a lot. That's one of the reasons I really want to cover it. And I probably need to make a whole video on it at some point. But this is as good as anything right now. We'll sit right here on this. We'll play 2 full ring tables up top here while we're talking about it. And once again, ignition is broken. It won't save your seats, your preferred seating for 9 max in ignition. So, okay, so getting back, because of the less aggressive nature of the games and people playing a little bit more straightforward, you tend to know when you tend to not get the money in as much. Definitely as light, so variance is maybe a little bit lower in full ring. Now this is real general stuff, like I said, but I think your best bet in full ring is not really to treat it like a different game. Just treat it like 6 max with 3 extra seats, basically, and just learn the vacuum plays, and then just play your table. Play the players on your table. Get reads. If you're using a HUD, read them the same way. But yeah, I do make some slight vacuum adjustments in general versus all positions in full ring. It's true. But I think if you don't make those little nuanced adjustments, you're not going to be, you might cost yourself 1 or 2 big blinds in your win rate, but, oh, that's a shove. I only have 340 left there. That's a ship. Well, just all the same, we still flop top pair, so I'll check shove this. Hopefully this guy just bets any 2 cards here, which I'm assuming he would. He's a 23-0 with 2 aggression factor. Hopefully this isn't just a big trap with aces. Maybe he's trying to get me to shove pre-flop. So either way, he's getting my money, right? Okay, we get it in very good here. He probably folds to my pre-flop shove, so I by accident played that hand very well. So I really don't know what else to say. about full ring. Maybe in early position, raise a little bit bigger. You'll have a much stronger range, so it makes sense to raise bigger anyway. It cuts down on the price that people are getting to set mine, is one of the reasons to do that. As I contemplate, this is pretty marginal. I think I just have to call because this guy's 67-0. It wasn't the worst spot in the world. I think it's break even at worst, so I think it's okay. But if anybody thinks of any specific questions or anything about full ring, let me know. I really can't think of anything else. I mean, I just feel like I'm just saying the same stuff over and over again, so. But I'll go ahead and play a couple full ring tables. I'll play these two out until I leave, and hopefully that'll give you enough of a taste of it that we won't have to do it anymore. And as I come up to, and as I encounter specific spots, I'll definitely talk about those, if that even happens. Because full ring is generally just a kind of a watch paint dry type of game. But you do want to table select. With that being said, this doesn't look like a great table. I mean, we do have shorter stacks, so maybe it's not too bad. I think we just barrel off now. Once the king comes, I think it's just a barrel off, because he's going to be less confident in his 8, his jack, his 9, 10 may not look so good now, so he'll fold by the river most of the time there, I think. And we're just shipping against this aggressive player. We would need a much lesser hand than ace jack to ship here. We have jack 10 suited. This is a pretty early position here. What we need to do is just check what's behind us. This is not a vacuum open. Well, obviously this guy raised, but had it been unopened, we would look at these two players. They look like nits, right? So we don't really want to open jack 10 off jack 10 suited there. If you take these two players and put them here, and you take these two players and stick them here, you open the jack 10 suited. I think I just wore my voice out for the day. I do feel better today, though. Still a little stuffy, but I think I'm pretty much recovered. Just going to be on the nasal spray probably for a few days until I can wean myself off of that. That's probably the worst part of having a cold, was when you use nasal spray and when you try and go off of it, even if you're not sick, your nose will still be stopped up for a couple days, and that's miserable. Not looking forward to it. This guy only steals 2 out of 5. I think we can still call here. I think it plays well enough three-way that we can just see a flop in the big blind. Should be c-betting 100% here. So it's not a bad place for if I was a little deeper, I could raise that flop without him calling. Even in a three-way, I think he's going to c-bet that board like 100% if he's a reg. Wow, 2 monsters, huh? So we get 3-bet by this guy. Got an 8 post-flop aggression factor over 40 hands. He's 3-bet 3 out of 15 now. It's in the realm of 15, above 15%, and it's a squeeze. Could definitely defend this sometimes. I think I can defend this. I think it's good enough. The fact that this guy's going to call sometime, I think it makes it good. I think this guy's just going to be on an air ball a lot of time. He's going to feel a lot more comfortable with his ace 10 now, this is kind of a shitty flop for us. I think if it's like a 7 high board, he just check folds a lot. Let's see. This guy's 6-0. Can't quite ship 7s, but I think it's strong enough to call. It's a good flop. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of boards that we can just, he's just going to check fold on, I think. Because we're short stack, we look committed. He's just going to be bluffing a lot there, so it looks like I'm big minus EV play there, but I think in that dynamic it's fine. I think you just have to defend against this type of player. Assuming he's 3-betting wide, it's not just the fact that the deck's maybe hitting him in the face. This is an easy way to, I mean, we could still shove the river if it checks through here. So that's a really good river. So now we just ship and hope somebody has ace queen. Wow, this could be eights. Oh, oh, crikey. Oh, that's the only hand he could have there. The only hand he could have is eights, or a deuce somehow. That is sick. How did we run into eights? God, that sucks. I mean, if we check shove that, he's probably calling anyway. He's folding and he's calling. So we lose anyway. Would have been a lot sicker. Yeah, that's pretty gross. So we're going to bet this. That's pretty gross. He had 2 out. I mean, we lose our money no matter what. But yeah, it's pretty sick. We just have to ship this now. Oh, we have the equity. And he doesn't have to have an ace. I think he could fold a lot of hands now. And we're beating 7-8. We're beating heart draws. So maybe he folds a weak ace sometimes. Yeah, that's the sickest hand in a while. To be in a 3-way like that, get the perfect run out for our hand to get paid off by at least this guy, right? And then him to hit his 2-outer. Ouch. We're not going to let it bug us though. It was luckily it was a 25 and L hand. What did the other guy have? Oh, I guess he didn't show. Unfortunate. So yeah, we'll just see bet this 10 high board. We're gonna get floated a lot on this type of board, but he is out of position, so maybe not. This isn't a great table, so we're leaving it anyway. It's good to get a little bit of our money back before before we leave. That's pretty damn frustrating. Like, I had a triple up written all over it, right? I'm guessing this guy had like ace jack or something. So I'm going to play one more revolution on each of these tables. Full ring. I don't like, I don't want to say I don't like full ring. I just don't like 4 tabling with 2 full ring tables. It's just, the play's so nitty. And it's just not the style of poker I like to play. I mean, I do like the amount of fish on this table, although they all are to my left. I guess I can open this because, of course, this guy's so aggro, I can't open anything. He raises every time I have a hand to raise, it seems like. Let's try this one. Seat thief. We'll open it because this guy's 56-14 and we don't mind multi-way with Jack 10. We have possibilities on this flop. Can we bet though? We don't really have any. We're not going to get a 3 folds here most of the time. I think the better play is to go for a free card and hope to improve. I mean, if we had 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, we would bet this. And we're just hoping this guy checks back. So he does a mini bet. I guess we just have to look at the price. We're getting 6-1. I mean, that's almost the price to draw to 2 overs, right? An 8's a good card for us. The 7's not bad. The Jack and 10's obviously sometimes good. So I think we just call. Can't fold to that bet size. He could be sitting there with 6-7, you know. Now I almost want to shove. I almost want to shove. God, if this guy was a reg, I think I would shove this, but I think he just snaps us off with sixes if we shove here, whereas a reg would just snap fold. So I'm just going to fold. I mean, I could see him snapping it off with like ace X, right? So yeah, we'll be nits. Don't bluff a station. Potential station. This guy's pretty aggro. I think he could just be stabbing a lot on turns. So I think we'll just raise with our 9. Assuming it's for value most of the time. We most likely have the best hand. So what could this guy be calling the turn with? Maybe a 5x hand? Maybe pocket 7s? Is he going to call one more bet? I think he'll call one more bet if I bet small. I don't think he's going to bluff those hands. I think we can get some thin value here. Okay, or he could have a better 9. I mean, it's obviously in his range. I think checking is bad because I think he could bet a 9 like that for 3/4 pot or something. And it puts us in a tough spot, which we would probably have to call. So we mitigate our losses that way by betting too. Because you can't really just raise with ace 9 there. Because we could have a weak king for sure. But I think it also just keeps us from getting bluffed off if he had like gut shot or something that he missed with. I think if he raises that river, we just have to call it. Because I think there's just no hands in his range that can raise. You can't have a king. Unless he slow played a set or something, he just got air most of the time. Or he's turning his bottom pair into a bluff. That could be the case. But unfortunately, he just calls, and we're not good. But we lose a small pot, no big deal. Gonna limp to king 10. This guy's so bad, and these guys are tight. So, well, this guy definitely is. I'm not sure about this guy. And we just want to play in position versus him. I don't know. I guess we'll just fold. We might have the nothing there, though. Get a little low here to be just speculating because we can't really even see bet anymore. So we'll just play a little bit of nit poker here till we double up. Yeah, so don't want to be opening this type of hand with this dynamic in the 9-10 suited. I would need like both players in the blinds to be fish because just your likelihood of getting 3-bet just is so much increased because you're playing full range. There's so many ranges behind you. And you're not deep enough to peel often with that hand. You're just setting up yourself for to lose some money. So we'll go ahead and get off of this and replace it with a 6 max. Same here in a moment. But I hope that was adequate and helpful. Stefan, let me know otherwise. We can answer any specific questions you happen to have. Let's check this one. 2 full stacks battling. Going to take the simple route here and ship. Wow, we get overshoved on. Hopefully that's like jacks and not Aces or kings? Ace 9, wow. Don't give this guy a chop or a win. Oh, I tried to give him the 9. Did you see that? This is how I run, but luckily we had the flush draw. That's so funny, is that I just felt that 9 coming. And it was, luckily it was the 9 of spades. How sick would that have been to be a 9 of whatever was left? I guess it'd just be another day at the office, right? What is he doing over shipping for that much money with ace 9? I have no image on that table. What the hell kind of read was that? Maybe it was just a misclick. Probably just misclicked. I'm just going to assume. Or maybe he's just on tilt. Maybe he just had a read on this guy being super loose or something. I don't know. And I'm just a lowly short stacker. Of course, I've got to be weak, right? Yeah, he had 2450 when he shipped there. He shipped a full stack with ace 9 offsuit. Who says poker is dead? That's the second time we've doubled up on Cesar Chavez too, that table. Isn't that cool? Maybe it's just free money Friday, and that's what happened. We got the free monies. Somehow while I was on vacation, I wrenched my back in some way. Probably in the pool or on the beach or doing something I shouldn't have been doing, and yeah, it's kind of frustrating. I can't really sit in one place too long. So I probably won't play 2 hours today, unless I take a break and lay on the floor for a little bit. It's annoying. It's nothing. It's not like I'm sitting here in like super pain or anything. It's just more of a nagging. This feels like a pulled muscle or something. Still a little bit fatigued though from the sickness, so I'll either play an hour and a half. So we'll play another 20 minutes or another 40 minutes, depending on how I feel. As you noticed, I switched to the orange tables when I moved up. I'm starting to do that whenever I move up a stake. I change the colored table, so people looking through the challenge or my old videos or whatever, they can go back to the video where I moved up. I don't think I did it exactly at the right. I think I did 2 videos late when I moved up to 10 and L. So I hadn't come up with the idea yet. So that won't work there, but close enough. So I'm shipping any flop here, just because I've thirded it. This guy's going to be fairly tight, but I mean, we're going to tank and shove, and hopefully he folds a hand like 7s. We're not really tanking, but that's so dirty. That's so dirty. I mean, we have a tiny stack, but we got this guy to call a third of our stack with Queen Jack offsuit and the hijack. That's just terrible. And he's 16-14 over 50 hands, and he picked that hand to play badly. So weird. So we got him to put his money in dominated. He hit his 3-outer on the flop. It's pretty gross. We're going to defend with the 9-7 here against this aggro-looking player. I mean, it's a small sample, but he's basically raising every hand so far. I think we just have to raise and get it in here. We have flopped open-ended blind versus blind. I mean, what more could you ask for, right? On a draw-heavy board, he's just going to check fold a lot. He's going to fold his ace highs, his king highs, his pairs. Yep. The hand pretty much plays itself, I think. Probably isn't the ideal spot here. I'm just going to leave this table. You don't want a guy directly to right just pounding away, you know. And without some other benefit, I mean, if this guy was a whale or something, I would stay. But believe it or not, you do not make your money in poker as a short stack from just relentlessly shoving on people. That's just one little piece of the profit. We may have the best hand here. You may want to take bets on us having the best hand. Probably not anymore. This guy's never bet in his life, so I guess we just have to fold. First bet in his life. If his life is 52 hands. Yeah, just gonna fold, aren't you? We're just gonna leave this table. I guess we have to raise. Hopefully he's trapping or something, right? I mean, it's really draw heavy. I'm just gonna get this hand over with, or get it in good, or bad. And we get it in kinda good. Boom! Thank you, sir. When you get a draw heavy flop and you have an overpair and just like no turn cards are going to be agreeable to you or him, just ship the shit, you know. That's one of the benefits of short stacking, right? We have an awesome SPR. We don't care about losing our whole stack because we flopped the perfect flop for our hand, or one of them. So do it. I'm just going to call with the ace queen. Just play a flop. I like to normally lead these spots. We were ahead of his range pre-flop, so we're probably most likely still ahead post-flop. It's just a trickier, easier way to play a doubled up stack with the same basic result, except you risk less money. And you kind of get rid of your positional disadvantage a little bit. I mean, we had a plan, right? I'm going to open this for sure. Even if your plan's a bad plan, it's better than no plan. Not that my plan was necessarily a bad plan. I'm just saying. At least we're not just clicking buttons. That's unfortunate. It's hard to get that kind of flop with that kind of hand, so fortunately he wasn't just like rocking jacks there or something. Just left that table. That one's too low VPIP. We'll just be patient here. This table looks pretty good. Ooh, would I have had top two? I think so. Who is knocking on my door? Unfortunately, I can't see my front door from here. I'm on the second floor, and I'm right over the front door, but there's an eave or piece of the, whatever you call that, overhang over the door. My vocabulary is not very good. I have the vocabulary of well, I won't say that. I was going to say immigrant, but I guess that's not a derogatory thing. I mean, immigrant that... Well, let's just say I have the vocabulary of a non-first English language speaker. I can't even say that properly. So somebody that learned English after they learned their native language, they're probably going to have as good of a vocabulary as me. Maybe that's not true, but I always like to think I have a decent vocabulary, but I really don't. And if I do, I can't grasp it when I need to. You know, that word just doesn't come, the perfect word. When I'm writing, it's a different story. I can kind of, it just seems to work better on paper than it does speaking. I don't know why. And besides that, I have thesaurus.com, right? I don't even need to have a good vocabulary. The immortal words of Albert Einstein. Maybe it doesn't really apply to this, but I'm going to apply it to it. Is do not learn anything that you can easily look up. So I guess anybody that has a Alexa doesn't need to do anything, right? They don't even need to go to school. I'm having trouble finding a couple more tables. Yeah, slim pickings. So we got a little squeeze here against an aggro player with a tight player behind. I expect to get called by player 1 here often. He's going to have a hand like 7 6s plus, well, any pair. Probably 3-betting jacks, so that would be like the one hand he might call with that's beating us. Wow, really, ace queen? You're just going to overship it? I guess we're drawing to 1 out, right? Oh, that's a flip. I mean, I wouldn't expect him to do that because this guy's going to be like trapping sometimes. It's a pretty bad move on his part, this guy. But he's aggro. I mean, live and die by the sword, right? Was he like a half? Oh yeah, he was a $20 stack. He wasn't a half stack. I mean, he's like raising generally every hand here. Yada yada. Definitely gonna 3-exit here. I think it's the right environment. Lots of loose players. Apparently we're not gonna win a hand on this table, are we? It's 2 buy-ins. It's maybe not even a great table anyway. I mean, we have this 45-3 directly across. This guy's opening wide. This guy's opening wide too, though. Yeah, we're gonna suck it up. Probably just leave this table. Actually, there's not that many tables, so I don't know. So what's going on up on the top right here? Woohoo! You don't expect that to happen very often, do you? Please don't let me misclick the fold button. Please don't let me misclick the fold button. Please let him have pocket 8s and hit an 8. I guess that wouldn't matter. He's going to stack off anyway. Do we need to bet something here? I'm going to min bet. Maybe he can do something. I mean, I think he's just probably got like 9s here. How do we get value from 9s? Probably by $5. Damn. What could he have had there? I guess he was just stabbing. Well, that sucks. We did get some value out of our quads, just not as much as we hoped for. Size 47.7, so we'll open. Probably leaving that table. So I'm having trouble keeping tables up. Maybe we just cut this session short. There's like nothing going on. It's all full ring. Been playing 47 minutes. This guy is pretty passive. I think we have a lot of clarity on the turn if we just check here. And I think we can keep it down to 2 streets, which I think is the goal on that type of board. If he has 9-7, I'm going to be very sick. I think we can induce a lot of bluffs too. Oh wow, he flopped the nuts. Look at this. We lose the minimum. We lose the bare freaking minimum there. We don't lose our whole stack with top pair good kicker. That is a win. And that's why I checked back that spot. I'm leaving this table. I'm not going to dump any more money in a bad dynamic. So let's think about this. Do we want to keep playing? I think I got an idea. Something I haven't done in a while. Why don't we play 1 heads up, sit and go. I said I was going to start doing this at like, was it $250? Let's see if there's any games available right now. I forget. What was the one we played this? The Turbo? Alright, there's a heads up. $1. Where's the next level? Let's type low and see if that... Okay, it's not going to be low. It's still going to be micro. So, okay, here we go. Where's the heads up? That must be it. And there's a guy sitting already. Not necessarily a good thing. Make sure this is the right thing. Yeah, we'll play this. Okay, so we'll play one of these. Why not, right? We're up for the day anyway. So we're free rolling. We're either going to end at 396 or we'll leave at 406. Let me get my tournament indicator. Probably going to require an update. Yeah. Bastards. So hopefully we're not too rusty on these. Usually the guy that's sitting already is the reg, so whatever, we'll play a reg. We will defend the king 3 offsuit. We're going to build an aggressive image. I'm going to go ahead and raise this flop with king high and a backdoor diamond draw. We want the aggressive image. So I guess we can go to switch to this. There we go. Check back. Probably have the best hand. We want to get to showdown with the best hand, but not a clear value bet. I think we can raise rivers. I think if he has a weak king or a queen, he calls a river raise. I think we can get some use some of our, what do you call it? We raised earlier, so we have an aggressive image already maybe, so he'll pay us off a little lighter. And if he re-raises, we'll just fold. Could he re-raise with a worse king? Probably not. So he hasn't seen our hand yet. So unless he's watching the stream, he won't know what we're doing for a while. We're just going to check back with these. Now we're going to keep pots small when we're out of position, but we're still going to aggressively play flops. We most likely have the best hand here. So we're going to play it as such. And we probably have the best hand here. I think he'll have some ace highs as well, maybe some queen highs, king highs. Wow, 5-3, okay. Or we could just have a pair. It's weird. Why did it switch back to... Okay, I know what the problem is. Just not sure how to fix it. I think I do. Switch to... Oh wait. Okay. Let me get this sorted out here. I want to switch this to this. To 1. Add. There we go. Okay. They have a scene switcher. I think I've talked about this before. And what that means is basically I can switch to different scenes automatically by being on different windows. So we'll just get it in here with the ace queen. If he's due to 3-bet, right? I guess we just bet and get it in. We have 82 big blinds, but I think in this format we just have to raise and get it in. I mean, I would be amazed if he doesn't put it in with a worse queen here, or even some jacks. There's definitely some draws, and sometimes we'll be beat. But I think you flop this flop, backdoor flush, ace high, top tier, top kicker, and a heads up. We're not out if we lose. We're really damn short, but we're not out if we lose. So we do get him to put it in really bad. Can we hold? We do, and we win. Okay. He declines our match. Not that I really, well, I wouldn't mind playing that guy again, but so we win our one heads up match, which puts us at 406. I think we started at 379, right? So we're up at 27 bucks today, almost another 30 bucks. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it short here. We're almost into an hour anyway. back hurts, not feeling that great. All the excuses in the book to quit, right? And I honestly, if I just don't feel like playing, I'm not going to do it. Not that I don't necessarily wouldn't enjoy playing right now, and I know I should be playing. It's a Friday, but I hear my kids downstairs. I got friends coming over later. I kind of want to prepare for that. I got to make some food, um, other things. But I did want to at least play this hour today, and I'm glad that we were able to cover some things. We got some full ring concepts covered. I hope I did that adequately. If not, let me know. We can cover it again. But yeah, I guess we'll wish everybody a free money Friday. If you get out there and play, I hope you tear it up. And if you're new to the channel or you have not seen one of my videos before, please subscribe, follow my YouTube channel and my Twitch if you don't mind, and like the videos as well. As always, I would appreciate that. Help me grow the channel. Contact me if you have any questions directly. I'm happy to answer any poker question to the best of my ability, or any question, period, at jim@automaticpoker.com or automaticpoker@gmail.com. I tend to use that a lot nowadays. So thank you again, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow, unless my wife's planning something that I don't know about, but I'm planning on seeing you tomorrow, and we'll keep hopefully running up this bankroll. Take care.